Why hello there, how you doing? My name is Adam. Welcome to A Duda Reviews, an entertainment channel for entertainment purposes. I finally got to see Pearl. I've been looking forward to Pearl for so long now. The prequel to X, directed by Tiwest, starring miagoth, and it really didn't disappoint. It was so good, and I'm here to talk about it to you now. So the premise of the film, miagoth's character Pearl is a young girl on a farm set in 1918 during the Spanish flu, the pandemic of that era, and also World War I. Her husband has gone off to war and she lives at home on the farm with her parents. Her father is in a wheelchair and is needs looking after 24/7 basically. Her mother, they're both German immigrants, the parents, and her mother is extremely strict and is just very kind of stern with Pearl, and Pearl just longs to leave the farm and live a new life and become a movie star. She's got big wild-eyed dreams about becoming a dancer.
Please, Lord, make me the biggest star the world has ever known, so that I'll make it far, far away from this place.
But because we've already seen X, we know that Pearl, the old lady in Pearl, is a bit of a nutter. She's crazy and she kills people and stuff. So it's sort of miagoth in this. It's like seeing her become that killer and seeing the switches that get clicked in her brain where she suddenly goes completely psycho. And so 1 minute she's completely loving and caring, and then all of a sudden she's like a child having this big tantrum and swinging axes and things like that. The way the movie is filmed and everything about the look of it is very sort of a golden era of Hollywood type thing, with films like The Wizard of Oz, things like that, Gone with the Wind or something like that, with big fonts and grandiose music. I don't think this film had the scare factor of X exactly, because I think the main factor of that is because this is set entirely pretty much in daylight. For me, that takes away the sort of jump scare factor to it, but it was nonetheless extremely sort of chilling and sort of disturbing when you do see her snap and you're like, holy shit. Some of the big standout scenes for me were the scene where she is eating the meal with her now deceased parents. She's smothered her father with a pillowcase and she has accidentally set her mother on fire, but then just dragged her down the stairs and left her there to die, basically. But she brought them both back up, dressed them, combed her mother's hair that's fallen out, and just they put this maggot-infested pig on the table, and she's just completely lost her mind. The Oscar-worthy scene, if you've seen the film, then you'll know that the monologue that miagoth does is just so good. She basically confesses everything to her stepsister and just lets it all out, and she confesses the murders and everything, and in that moment you completely pans to miagoth Pearl's face and you see all the emotion in her face. It was just so good. The scene where she's at the dance audition and she's dancing away and the smile on her face, and it's just so crazy. You can see the crazy in her eyes, and it's just she wants that dance audition so much. She wants to get away from that farm and live that imaginary life that she wants to lead. There's also the scene where she gets it on with a scarecrow, but you got to see that to believe that one. So yeah, basically miagoth carried this whole film. The supporting cast were really good as well, don't get me wrong, but it was just it was the miagoth show basically, because she had so much dialogue and it was so much about her character, obviously. But she pulled it off so well. She should win an Oscar for it or something like that, because her acting was off the charts. I can't wait for the sequel to X. Now it's going to be a trilogy. And we discussed the character of Maxine, also played by miagoth. And it was just so good. I loved X. I don't know which I prefer. I think I still slightly prefer X in a weird way, because even though this was the better film, I think I just prefer X a little bit, just a smidgen, because it was a horror film set at night. I know that's a weird sort of nitpick, but it's sort of it just adds to the whole atmosphere to me, and I like the 70s slasher genre and that sort of era, and I love stuff that's set in the 70s too. So I mean, and this era was cool and everything, but yeah, it didn't have that cool factor of the 70s had. The only thing that really minus points for me would be it was set in daylight, and the fact that her husband Howard returns at the end of the film. and he sees, you know, the setup, the table with the dead parents and the rotting pig with all the maggots in it, and she's just standing there like with this big smile on her face, and she looks absolutely insane. She's like, "You're home," but like she's like crying at the same time, and you can see her like, it's just, and the camera holds on her face for like I swear to God, like 2 minutes or something like that, and it's just so uncomfortable to watch. I want to know what happens and why he stays, but you don't see that at the end of the film. So why would, because you know he stays because he's in the film X, he's the husband in the film X, the old man, but why would he stay? So maybe we'll see that in the sequel, but I don't really know how they're going to sort of put that into the 1985 setting, how that's gonna, unless they sort of read an old article or something like that. So yeah, overall I would give this film a 9.5 out of 10. It was so definitely worth watching. You have to see it if you haven't already, and I can't wait to watch Maxine now. So anyway, thank you very much. I had to get this off my chest. I know this isn't going to get a great amount of views because it's been out for a little while in America, and the, you know, the algorithms or whatever, there's some such, and I'm only a small channel, but I had to get this off my chest because I really wanted to see this film for a long time. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Love you very much. God bless. Goodbye.